Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the Spotlight series with me, Suman Agarwal on Spotlight with Suman. I am the co-founder and director of Image Consulting Business Institute, and with me, joining with me as my guest today is Archika Arora from Delhi. She's a certified image consultant and a soft skills trainer from ICBI. So we'll just wait for a while before we allow her to present her views about this industry, and I'll just invite her in a bit, and she will share her views as well. So for those who would like to understand what this platform is all about, let me share with you that I would be asking her about the industry, that what has she understood, what has she gone through in terms of her experience about ICBI, and how is she contributing to the industry, to the market as an image consultant and a soft skills trainer. What was her prior experience, and how is she enjoying as a contributor in this industry, and how has she transformed in the entire process, what kind of benefits is she enjoying, and some more questions. Of course, during the course of the time, I will be asking her, and you can of course ask some questions from your end as well. If you have certain queries, certain doubts about this industry, please feel free to ask questions to me, to her, and in general, if you have certain queries, you're more than welcome to ask. So let's see if Archika has already joined, and if she's already here waiting to get connected and to be a part of this. Already getting connected. Hi
Hi,
Archika.
good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Very well. How are you doing, Archika?
I am good too. So happy to meet you finally face to face.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a desire to meet you in person, because I've only seen your posts and your
Yeah,
videos, and I was so looking forward to meeting you.
same here, ma'am. Pleasure.
So how are things with you, and how's life treating you?
Things are brilliant. Life is treating me well, and of course, a long way to go. The journey has just started.
Absolutely amazing. So tell us about yourself. What were you doing prior to joining ICBI?
Sure. So, I had a very conventional route. I first studied in Delhi University, CBS. So, I left SRCC for CBS. So, usse thoda masala aata hai when I tell that. I withdrew my admission, then went to CBS, studied management, then went to IIM Indore and did my MBA. And while I was at IIM, I did my internship at BCG. So, that was my first consulting and corporate stint. And post that, I worked as a management consultant at EY India. So, that is what I was doing before ICBI.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. So you are an IIM Indore alumna,
Yeah,
right? And a management
that's right.
consultant from BCG and EY India.
That's it.
That's like big degree before you actually got into image consulting and soft skills
Yeah.
training. So how did
Hmm.
you get, I mean, how did you decide to get into image consulting and soft skills, and did not actually opt for a typical corporate job, or get into any kind of a management industry or anything like that? So I mean,
Huh.
what really made you inclined towards this industry and not a corporate sector, so to say?
Sure. So the kahani is very filmy. This is why I'm smiling so much because when I was in school, I used to see ICB as ad in Times of India. ICB had just launched. I think I was in class 9th or 10th. Don't even remember. It's very Bollywood type kahani, कि आशिक है पीछे भाग रहा है. So I am the आशिक here. ICBI or image consulting is the pyar of my life. So I used to read those articles in the newspapers when I was in library.
अच्छा,
ठीक है,
नाइन्थ
ये काम
स्टैंडर्ड में भी
करना है.
न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते थे?
मैं सिर्फ डेली टाइम्स पढ़ती थी या सेल्फ हेल्प बुक्स पढ़ती थी लाइब्रेरी में जाके. सो जब बच्चे हैरी पॉटर, मैंने आज तक हैरी पॉटर नहीं देखी. So I used to keep reading that. So it just, the entire कायनात वाला thing, this is what I'm saying, it's very filmy. So actually मैं क्या यही काम करना है, but the positioning I couldn't relate to. Because at that time when ICB had launched, it was meant for housewives or ladies who were on sabbatical. Eventually the positioning also changed. So I'm like, yeah, यही करना है, but I was very academically brilliant and I belong to a family of doctors. My mom is a teacher, so very education oriented. मैं कहा नहीं नहीं ये करना है. फिर 11th में I studied science for like 3 months. मैं कहा यार ये नहीं करना, ये तो बहुत बेकार काम है, इंजीनियर मुझे बनना नहीं है, इतनी मेहनत क्यों करूँ मैं. So I just decided कि कॉमर्स कर लेते हैं. And then I decided नहीं, SRCC ने गए तो मेरे ग्रुप में बहुत बेइज्जती हो जाएगी, तो IC पे फिर ऐसे बैक स्टेप पे आ गया. So SRCC happened. Eventually I never went there, went to CBS. So ICY was always at the back of my mind, and thankfully the positioning was also changing. So I was like, चलो SRC से चले आते हैं, tag ले लेते हैं, फिर कर लेंगे. So I never had plans of doing any MBA. This is why I joined CBS, so that placement लेंगे और चलते बनेंगे. So that happened, and after CBS, I got placed at EY again, but the CTC was for 2 lakhs. So my parents dropped a bomb. So, for example, 5th July was the joining date. 3rd July, 2nd July, they tell me कि नहीं आप up down करना. I used to reside in Ghaziabad, Gurgaon जाना होता, so it was like 60 kilometers. I said, boss, I'm not doing it for 2 lakhs. Are you mad or what? मैं नहीं कर रही. So I wrote a mail to HR. I said, I'm not doing it. So इससे better मैं CAT कर लेती हूँ. So that happened, and then the coaching institute was really bad, whatever. And IIM eventually happened, and I had already gone to ICB after my CAT. I said मैं दोबारा तो नहीं करूँगी, ICB जाती हूँ, अब चली जाती हूँ. So IIM happened, and I don't know if you remember or not, Haspreet had actually put me in touch with you. I actually made a call to you to ask that, ma'am, मेरा IIM हो गया है and ICBI है, and I'm like in 2 minds, क्योंकि पहले मुझे था यार नहीं होने वाला, 2-3 महीने की तो तैयारी कर रही है, and my percentile was 92.39. तो दोबारा तो मैं नहीं पढ़ने वाली यार, ये तो बहुत बोरिंग काम है, और करनी तो इमेज कंसल्टिंग ही है eventually. So I spoke to you, you said नहीं ICBI करो, IIM तो कभी भी चले जाओगे, but society की IIM का tag ले लो बेटा, ICBI तो कभी भी जा सकते हो. That happened. Then I went to IIM, and I was told by ICBI people that you can go to Indore and then do your classes also. So I was like, okay, perfect, I'll do that. I won't go for my student exchange. मैं ही कर लूंगी. But BCG happened, the PPO didn't come. So PPO is pre-placement offer. So I was like, अरे यार final placement की तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी. So student exchange तो मैं वैसे भी नहीं गई. So that was a backup plan कि मैं इंदौर में पढ़ लूंगी जाके. That also didn't happen. Then EY happened. So there was a 3-month gap. That is when I thought of joining ICBI again. So by this time, the career counselor is a very good friend. उनका ICBI के जिस सामने है office, जितिन sir. He's like, यार अब तो तू IIM जा चुकी है, अपने आप खोल, क्या करना है तुझे सर्टिफिकेशन. ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे नहीं करना है यार, मेरे को प्रॉपर करिकुलम चाहिए, whatever. Parents said, बेटा अब तो कमाओगे, बाद में कर लेना, 3 महीने थोड़ा chill करो. Then I had a couple of people who had connected me to already practicing image consultants, was graduated from ICIBI, not graduated. So they were like, यार तू books मंगवा ले, खुद कर ले, पढ़ ले. Try doing that. So etiquette books, body language books. So that happened again. ICBI फिर पीछे चला गया. So long story short, after I was into 2 years of my career in EY, I was just sitting in a client meeting, and I was like, what impact am I creating यार? मतलब मैं business लोगों को चलाना सिखा रही हूँ, पढ़ लिया, आज तक अपना business चलाया नहीं है. And अगर मैं कल को मर जाऊँ तो सिर्फ EY वाले ही रोएंगे, शायद EY में भी कोई नहीं रोएगा. What rubbish is this? I'm not making any impact. Just wrote a text to my brother. I was like, listen, I'm thinking I'll leave यार. So ICY was nowhere in the scene. I was so frustrated with my job. I'm not making any impact. Left without even knowing. I didn't even know how to type a resignation mail, and I'm asking my friends, they're like, 1 महीने रुक जा, 2 महीने रुक जा, appraisal ले ले, ये कर ले, वो कर ले. Wrote a mail, I was like, चलो देखी जाएगी. My mom thought, you've lost it. So that happened. Eventually, 2 months notice period, I got a job again, and this is what I teach all my clients also, अपनी जो mistakes करी है फिर वो सिखाओ. So that happened. I ended up joining a startup. I had 2 offers during the notice period. जिसका भी CTC सबसे ज़्यादा वो कर लेते हैं. And I ended up resigning within 3 weeks of joining. Right? I came back home. My mom literally told me, because I had just turned 25, कि यार तू शादी कर, तू निकल, तेरा हो चुका है दिमाग खराब. So she had gone to ICBI twice. First, she had gone after my cat, and she was like, क्या बकवास है ये वो है. The moment she entered ICBI, she met Kavita. She was like, बेटा तू यही कर, तू इसी के लिए बनी है. So Kavita has a very strong role in my journey. And then eventually, after I went after EY, also startup छोड़ के भी आ गए. I said नहीं यार ICBI करते हैं, अब अच्छा time है, because I didn't want to do consulting. So I was like, अब अपना ही काम करते हैं ना, जब consulting नहीं करनी है. Every company wanted to leverage my consulting skills. Again, my mom was like, no, you've lost it, whatever. Then again, she went to ICBI. She's like, नहीं तू यही कर, because Kavita had just convinced her. मैं तो पहले से ही convinced थी. So that is how ICBI happened.
Oh, so it was not you, it was your parents who thought that, this is the right profession for you.
No, I always thought, my parents, especially my mom, thought I had lost it. कि पहले तुम ईवाई छोड़ के आ गए हो बिना कुछ बताए, उसके बाद तुम 3 हफ्ते में स्टार्टअप छोड़ के आ गए हो, अब तुम कह रहे हो तुम्हें इमेज कंसल्टिंग है, रहे तुम्हें करना क्या है जिंदगी में, मतलब लोग जाने को मरते हैं इन चीजों में, तुम क्या कर रहे हो? अरे मुझे हमेशा ही करना था, अब तो आप मतलब दैट अश्लील ग्रोवर लाइन ना, दो गुलापन कर रहे हो कि आपने बोला था बेटा पहले आईआईएम चली जा, या पहले थोड़ी नौकरी कर ले फिर कर लियो ऐसे बात, अब जब टाइम आया तो आप ऐसे कर रहे हो. So that happened. And then eventually she's like, no, you made for it. She attended the presentation that Haspreet gave and whatever. I was like, chalo, theek hai, achhi baat hai. So that
Fantastic. So
is how
this is how ICBI happened to you.
And I ended up going back to EY even after 1.5 years of my practice.
Oh.
And then again, I left last year. I was like, nahi yaar, mujhe yahi karna hai. So from full-time practice to part-time practice, then again full-time practice. Like, no regrets now. Completely no regrets.
Why did you go back?
So I got married in 2021 and I had just started my practice. So utna fat paycheck to aa nahi raha tha. So we thought that, I and my husband thought that this is a love marriage thi. So parents were like, nahi, tum dono mein se koi to dhang se kamai karega. So we both were like going back to corporate. He was from hotel background. COVID happened. We were like, yaar, pyar ke liye kya karna padta hai? So that is what happened. Went back and then I used to do my sessions from 8 to 11 p.m. Did my management consulting job. It was getting very taxing. So after like a year or so, I was like, nahi ho payega. I have to keep on doing my work only. Nahi ho payega. So that is what happened. So at the back of your mind, you have that, wo fat paycheck nahi aa raha. You have an IIM degree. You can always go back if it does not work out. Then you have pressure from your batchmates also. Kya kar rahe ho? And whatever. Now it's like established completely that, yeah. But now my batchmates come to me and they ask me, how did you do it? How did you get that courage? Now, how do I tell? Yaar, I was a very impulsive person. Batana to fir aise padta hai ki maine kiya, tum mat karna, but main strategy bata deti hu. So yeah, very filmy kahani for sure.
Absolutely. And what kind of assignments have you been undertaking? I mean, and how has it impacted the lives of people who you have been working with?
Sure. So I was very used to the client job because I was a management consultant, right? And when it came to my own personal branding, so what I've observed is it ultimately leads to increase of self-esteem, the image management cycle that we were taught. So people come for career coaching, they come for literally image management. Yeah, I'm selling skills sikha do, whether it's group training, I've done management consulting sessions also. But it all very beautifully boils down to both image consulting and soft skills training. And leads to an increase in self-esteem in the sense that people feel that, yeah, I am ready to now take on the world. Initially, they're like, people are judging me. I don't feel confident. I don't think I have great public speaking skills. I'm not able to convince the interviewer. Now, that beautifully changes through the sessions in a way that, I am confident and I'm going to decide and I'm going to take the charge of my life. So that is how it beautifully changes, whether it is in my group training sessions, it is in my one-on-one coaching sessions, it's in their personal life. I've had clients who were just about to get married, then they wanted image consulting sessions, ki in-laws don't take me for granted, things like those. I've had clients who just graduated from B school during COVID wave also. Then even after that, if people who've had 4 years of gap, people who have more than decade experience still don't know how to crack their interviews, now things like those. And I did a very beautiful training on behalf of HUL very early on in my career of image consulting, wherein I was training, women sales people. So I had then told them the entire Indian style scale, and they were like, oh my God, because they were competing against the salesmen. And they were like, we don't feel confident, guys don't take us seriously when we go to shops. And it was very beautiful because they were wearing jeans, kurta. So, Western mein dress up hona is very easy, but that was very challenging and also very bulb on moment at the same time for people. So, and that is what keeps me going. Because again, when I say I belong to a medical family, that is what I've been raised as. No, born to working parents. I used to sit in my dad's clinic till the time my mom used to come back. So I've seen that, koi dikkat or doctors ko bola jana ki, aapne hamari life bacha li. So I get a very similar kind of a feeling, which is very good. Because obviously, aadmi andar se to mar raha hai na, his or her self-esteem is not up to the mark. So that is what keeps me going. And that is the kind of impact that I've made.
Absolutely amazing. So what is that one experience that you would like to share with us, all of us who are here watching you and me? that is very close to your heart, which is a very emotional
Yeah,
session that you've had, or very emotional experience that you've had with your client. Would you
sure.
like to tell us?
For sure. I actually have two. So if I have to choose one, I'll just start with that because it's very recent and this is a very long-term client that I've had. So this client initially came to me for career coaching, wanted to do certain certifications, and I think must be 24, 25-year-old when he came to me. And it eventually turned out he had spine issues, 3 years of gap, or doctors weren't able to diagnose his uh, medical history, so much family pressure that people aren't even taking his health seriously. Now imagine image management, career coaching se kahan ja raha tha, the entire tangent. And why is it most emotional is because I made the guy resign despite him having
Oh,
3 years of gap already. And because he is not able to get his health diagnosed, सीधा बैठ नहीं पा रहा है in a travel job, again very toxic culture. I won't want to name the company, but it was an MNC. And I was like, listen, this will happen, but you need to stay alive. घर वाले नहीं support कर रहे हैं आपको, work पे आप support नहीं कर रहे हो, आप अपने लिए खड़े नहीं होगे तो कोई नहीं खड़ा होने वाला है. So that was the only time I've made a client resign. I was like, listen, you have to trust me and you'll come out with flying colors. He did that. And then eventually what happens in the entire span of 8 years, the kind of exercises that I gave him, he was actually able to get his thing diagnosed. 8 साल से तो उसे वही नहीं मिल रहा था कि प्रॉब्लम क्या है. डॉक्टर सेइंग posture ठीक नहीं है, some anxiety issues are coming in. It was a vicious cycle that was happening, right? So that happened, and yesterday only he got a job offer, and
oh
this
wow.
was despite like 4 years of work experience gap ho raha tha. So I kept on giving him exercises, made him realize that everything starts from inside. You don't start
No,
blaming
so
people.
this was happening because of the toxic environment at work?
Everything, toxic environment at work, toxic environment at home, right? And then on top of it, not even being able to get his health problem diagnosed. So he stays in Jaipur. Eventually, he now came to Delhi for the doctors. I mean, it's no joke that, the entire 6, 7 years before he came to me, he wasn't able to get this diagnosed, or even when he went to Delhi, things didn't happen. So the kind of exercises that I gave him made him understand simple things like law of attraction, self-esteem, how, you have to establish your boundaries, how the environment is reflecting about you, and again, dressing up, things like those, because he was losing his
Right.
hair also, so hair care comes in. I'm like, listen, all of that can be taken care of very easily, but आप पहले अंदर से अपने आप को ठीक करो. Like, many family ऐसे बोल रही है, doctors ऐसे बोल रहे, this and that. I said, this is all a vicious cycle. So that is very, very close to my heart. And before that, I had this another client, a female client. She was B school graduate, born and raised in a very small town. And COVID ke time pe, they couldn't go back to their campus also. And belonged to one of the top B schools, but had an internship when she got paid just 10,000 per month stipend in an NGO. So very low on self-esteem at that time. And in every session, like I actually taught her how to do makeup, also how to shampoo her hair, how to make those hairstyles, right? Everything, to an extent that she ended up making an entire customized poem for me as a gratitude exercise. Her mom called and passed on her wishes. So those are my two success stories that really keep me going, because the way your clients trust you. And
Absolutely.
all of them, especially when they're just starting on in their career, it's not easy for them to shell out that sort of money, because they have to keep on going back to their parents. Right? One didn't have job. I only made him resign. One is just a second year student coming from a small town, and father was having business issues, business not doing well. Still, they're trusting me that, ma'am, hum kisi bhi tarike se, we'll arrange, we'll do it. And that sort of trust really made me emotional. And then when, your clients come and tell you that, ma'am, at least you are there for us. So much of trust coming your way. So that is something that just keeps me going. Of course, money is happening, and it's not very easy for college graduates, at least, to shell out that sort of money for one-on-one consulting. I mean, even when we were students, our parents would have told us, "Pagal ho gaye, one-on-one kaun leta hai?"
Absolutely.
So things like those.
Absolutely. So, Archika, I have a question. I mean, of course, this is just a candid question that I want to ask you. That what kind of people should ideally become image consultants?
Okay. So, number one is that you need to be a people person. You need to get a high by making people successful. If you keep on putting the spotlight on your own self, right? What is the world thinking about me? How much will I get highlighted? What will I get out of it? Then image consulting is not for you, or soft skills training is not for you, right? You need to find that joy in making people rise and realizing that that is ultimately your success. So that's the number one criteria. And second is, of course, as I said, for me at least, I was sold on the that image management cycle that Judith has made. Because, coming from management background and belonging to a medical family, seeing all of that, that how what you were told in your childhood actually ends up making your image in adulthood, and how you see yourself is exactly how you're projecting yourself. So if you understand the depth of it and you're ready to not judge people, listen to them, and again, keep the spotlight on others, whether it is your client, your trainees, then this is a very fulfilling job for you, because the money is absolutely going to come, but you'll be very happy sleeping or getting up from the bed and thinking that, yes, today I'm going to work again because I'm going to spread that much of service all throughout the world.
So true, so true. And you have a great sense of purpose every day. Every day you meet new people, every day you have a new purpose in life.
Yeah.
So this is something which you look forward to on everyday basis, and you have so much excitement inside you. I mean, there is so much enthusiasm inside you. So this is something which you live for each and every day, and every day is a new day that you look forward to.
Yeah. And especially, because of the rise in social media, everybody wants to look like an actor or someone, right? But all they think is that, I should have been born with good looks, or I should have been born with great skin, great hair. So bridging that gap in terms of image consulting, first, obviously creating awareness, because people think that, ye to politicians ke liye hai, actors ke liye hai, or you either just born with a great dressing sense or looking good, or you were just doomed for life. So that journey, and I've had so many female clients who come and say, "आप हमें basic makeup सिखा दोगे?" मतलब they're so surprised. I'm like, "Yeah, we're trained to do that." नहीं, बिल्कुल basic, बिल्कुल शुरू से सिखाना है. Like, yeah, we're trained to do that. हर कोई YouTuber बनके eventually evening makeup थोड़ी करेगा. And I feel so bad, right? Because in fact, market में है कौन makeup artists or YouTubers, right? Otherwise, image consultants तो लोगों को बस यही लगता है कि नहीं, जब हम कभी HNI बनेंगे तो चाहिए होगा. Right? Because everybody has the right to that sort of abundance also, to feel good and look good. No? So that is what an image consultant or a soft skills trainer should really enjoy. So you contributing to that right of people, to make them realize, first create an awareness, you realize it yourself. And that gives you a lot of joy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with what you said. Bang on. So how do you promote yourself, Archika? What is your strategy to, showcase yourself and tell people, tell the whole world that, you are there and, take my services or, look for my services as an image professional or a soft skills trainer. So what do you do for that?
So again, this started as a very impulsive decision, but then obviously I utilized my MBA and my BBA degree and my management consulting angle. There was this gentleman who was pitching an image consulting software to me through LinkedIn. So I was sitting on a great base on LinkedIn when I had started my image consulting journey, because I started my journey as a fresher and I realized I went to great institutes, got the right sort of mentor. So I wanted to give back to people. That, we had that sort of mentorship. So I was doing a lot of pre-work already when image consulting was nowhere to be seen. So that really worked in my favor, yes. But when I started making my first video was this gentleman was, I think 50 or 60-year-old, had worked in the fashion industry and with the who's who of the world. He was making some image consulting software, which he was trying to sell. And he said that, I'll give you a card and whatever. I mean, basically the basics were all wrong. And he was going all gaga and blowing his old trumpet. I said, listen, this won't work for my clients. I don't want to do it. So we ended up in a, very bad argument or whatever. And that is when I made my first video. That, when you're doing your virtual meetings, this is the image angle that you need to take care of. This is the soft skills angle that you need to take care of. Because I was like, yeah, तैयार तो हो गए meeting के लिए, कुछ try कर लेते हैं, right? Because our profession is like, you need to walk the talk. So if I'm just writing something on LinkedIn, I mean, LinkedIn is known for text posts. But I was sitting on that base already. I know I have certain sort of trust in the market, and I had to make a video, because if people can see the way I'm talking, if they're convinced that way. So it was a very deliberate decision till this day that I do not have a call to action. It's a very subtle way of marketing, because I want a pull strategy instead of a push strategy, right? You cannot make people sign up for image consulting or soft skills training. It needs to come from inside. right?
Yes.
So all you can do is lead by example कि यार ये कर सकते हैं तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकती, or I want to be like this, right? And I had established that under the umbrella of magnetic personality coaching. Now that is where I put in all my business degree and experience. That one, in India, yes, generally there's a gap, because तब तक personality development के नाम पे क्या हो रहा था, English सिखा रहे हैं, first of all they're just encashing that fear that people have with English. English is superiority complex. So I ended up making that video also. So that's my organic sort of reach, what I really feel from inside, what I was looking at in terms of work meetings, my clients at that moment. That is what I want to give out to the world. कि या तो मुझे problem आ रही है that I've solved, or people who I'm already training, they are facing that problem. That becomes my topic, right? That becomes my strategy, and it always has to be video, so that I can tell them this is how you create your look. Sometimes I'm wearing my blazer, that's also deliberate, right? When I have to speak as an authority, sometimes when I have to just talk one-on-one and get down to people's level to make them trust me, right? I won't wear my blazer, I will just say wear a turtleneck or just a collar. I always have that style scale in mind, and the contrast, focal point, because the attention span is very, very less. And I launched myself during COVID, where people were just going to different webinars left, right, and center. So my strategy has been very simple. It has to be for LinkedIn, because I have corporate experience. People, I also understand that world well, and people also look, towards me for that sort of an experience. And then I just cut, copy, paste the same video everywhere. I don't have the time, or I don't want to customize it in that sense. Whatever customization I do is through one-on-one coaching. I want to make that comfortable space, but I didn't want to restrict myself to just image consulting and soft skills training. So in India, I realized, obviously I had a choice to just stick to one, image consulting or soft skills training. But I realized in India, because there is so much of population, and because especially in schools, we are not being taught all of this, it has to come in a broader umbrella.
True.
So it was all deliberate, and it's all organic. Now I did digital marketing internship also at that time, understood everything about website making, how does social media marketing really work, used my image consulting angle to come up with color schemes, the entire lookbook in terms of my brochures also, came up with everything, and obviously utilized my business degree and made it very organic. Like till this date, people only reach out. So I would just, for example, sign off by writing Archika Arora, certified image consultant, certified software. So it's very subtle, because, there are a lot of people who are not certified saying that, oh, we're image consultants.
Yeah.
I've had those clients also. That, people who are sitting on half-baked knowledge, color scheme seekh liya, color wheel seekh liya. So they're very awestruck, ma'am, we know color scheme, we're certified image consultant, whatever. आएंगे क्या complimentary color सिखा रहे हैं मुझे, मैंने कहा इसका मतलब क्या है, कैसे यूज होते हैं तो बताओ. So first you have to make them unlearn, then make them relearn. I was like, oh God. So then I started writing that. So I have my hands on the pulse of the market, right? So that comes from a business and management consulting angle. So that really keeps me going, and it's all what people want to listen to. So for example, if I'm stepping out in a wedding and my friends or my family members are really concerned, nahi yaar hum achhe nahi dikh rahe, hum nahi jayenge, ye nahi karenge. So it immediately gives me a balbon moment that, listen, everybody is so engrossed in thinking hum kaise lag rahe hain, log hamare bare mein, tumhare bare mein koi nahi soch raha hai. So that becomes another video. Then when I have a lot of clients coming to me who say, mama, makeup sikha do. Back to back it happened, ma'am, that I'm teaching people shampoo कैसे करते हैं, brush कैसे करते हैं बाल, right? अब skin type कैसे determine करते हो. I felt really bad, and these are also people who are sitting internationally, right? And most of them कि जो पढ़ा होता है हम वही यूज कर लेते हैं, या they blaming COVID. I was like, अच्छा skin type क्या है, scalp type क्या है, पता ही नहीं है. So I said, then don't blame your skin and scalp. इतना आपका साथ निभा दिया, पहले तो आप बैठ के gratitude list लिखो. मतलब taking so much for granted, they're like, oh, it's so simple and whatever, going to random dietitians, going to dermatologists. I was like, great, but boss, this is basic. So then that becomes my videos. कि यार एक को जरूरत है, दो को जरूरत है, तो बहुत लोगों को जरूरत होगी. मैंने search on YouTube, हमने क्या, ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा influencer types है, that who's educating people. So I use that, and it's a clear cut copy paste, because the client can be anywhere. He or she can be on YouTube, he or she can be on Facebook. So my video goes everywhere. And then shamelessly, putting it as WhatsApp status also. So because people somehow feel कि नहीं यार बहुत salesy लगेगा, लोग क्या सोचेंगे.
That's okay.
I have to look at
That's
sales.
okay. I mean, let people consume content. That's fine.
So I'm like, you have to look at sales as doing service. आप घर पे बैठे हुए हो, कोई उस problem से मर रहा है, look at that. Everybody will be happy to pay you for that. and people somehow have some stigma in going to dermatologists, right? So that is where image consultants come into play. कि skin problem नहीं है, but अच्छी skin चाहते हैं. So who is solving that sort of a gap? Because influencers will come, they will do all sorts of PR, marketing, or whatever. I also get those mails that, you know, just make one Instagram story, we'll ship the product. I did it twice or thrice. I was like, yaar, ye nahi ho payega, because this is not doing justice to our profession. Because we believe in, you know, not giving fish to our clients, but teaching them how to fish. So that is what my marketing strategy and my content strategy is. Whatever the market is demanding, just keep your eyes and ears open. So if I'm doing things back to back, I will just give that back to people, even if it is as simple as, you know, doing, say, Ho'oponopono prayer, writing gratitude list. If I'm seeing it's working for my clients, most of the times I have to first teach my clients about law of attraction, because it's very much in sync with what your self-image is. आपने वही अपने बारे में राय बना ली तो वही attract कर रहे हो. You're in a vicious cycle. So that becomes my video there.
अच्छा, एक बात बताओ. I mean, again, this is a very candid question that I want to ask you. When you are amongst your friend circle or your social circle, does anybody feel little overwhelmed with your presence because you are an image consultant? Do they feel, अरे इससे थोड़ा सा बच के रहो because she will try to judge you, or she will try to read you, or she will read in between lines, because, you know, image consultants have a tendency to see through you and things like that. Does it ever happen like that?
I'll tell you. So it happens in a good sense, and that is only because I'm certified. So we were all taught this thing that, you know, you have to make your client comfortable, which means everybody around you, right? And then because I've studied management for 5 years, I understand the kind of biases people come with, worked with senior CXOs because of management consulting industry. So वहाँ पे ना आप हवाबाजी नहीं कर सकते थे. So that became my muscle memory. So it very beautifully, I will tell you that, you know, before joining EY, the second time, I ended up working in a family office. It was an H&I's family office. I was a senior manager there, all girls team. They're randomly coming to me and asking me image consulting ज्ञान, okay, that, you know, my in-laws are coming, or I'm a Bombay girl, यहाँ Delhi में लोग बहुत सचते धजते हैं, opening up to me. First of all, I've given out that vibe, right? वो काम करने तो यहाँ ही नहीं हूँ, but I used to be very well dressed. So when I had my second corporate stint, there was a chalk and cheese difference. Of course, I used to be well dressed before also, but now I'm deliberately doing. So if I have a meeting today with, say, the portfolio businesses I'm taking care of, I would dress up in a different manner. If I'm going to the H&I person I'm reporting to, I would dress up in a different manner. So these ladies will come to me कि यार आपका makeup तो बिल्कुल नहीं होता है, आप हमें बताओगे, बड़ा natural लगता है. So they used to come. Then when I went to EY, right? So I was hired by an alumni only of IIM Indore. He became partner at that time. I never worked with him before, but he was the one who hired me at that time. He called me on my first day and he said कि आप एक image consulting की training ले लो हमारी team के लिए. So very beautifully people come up and say this, right? I've even done makeup trainings in EY, even explained style scale, and even when I'm at home, right? Now people come and ask कि यार हमें यहाँ जाना है, ये है, आप look बनवा दोगे. And sometimes, especially my husband, they'll be like, because he's from hotel management background, first of all, he's like, यार तुम ये पढ़ रहे हो, तुम first year में ही पढ़ लेते. I said, listen, for us it was eye-opening, okay? And the world desires and deserves to know this. हम कोई airline या hotel management industry से थोड़ी आ रहे थे, कौन पढ़ा रहा है आपको ये? So then friends also come कि यार हमारा ना ये सूट खत्म हो रहा है. And then I realize यार तुम्हारे पास black सूट नहीं है, grey सूट नहीं है, तुम यहाँ blue, brown सूट लेने की सोच रहे हो. Like, why would you do that? So they very beautifully come and they ask. And then I have to teach them about smart shopping. Even if people are going out in their pajamas, they think, yeah, even if I'm going to a bank, कि थोड़ा coordinate करके पहनो ना. It's not always about styling. So that is what I love about a profession. People mistake it with styling, makeover, or becoming someone who you aren't. So it's just about putting in the thought of, you know, how you're dressing up. And it is also about the art of dressing down. So even when I'm going to weddings, meeting my friends, I won't be decked up all the time, right? It will depend on if I'm going just for a lunch, and you want people to open up to you. So what good are you as an image consultant अगर लोग आप ही से ही डर जाए? आप लोगों को क्या image बनाना सिखाओगे फिर, right? And then image consulting's premise is that opportunity can come from anywhere. So you have to dress the part, look the part, and give out that vibe as well. And that is where your soft skills also come into play. One, that you've dressed up in a manner that people are willing to come up to you and open up to you. अब आप उसमें, if you start acting arrogant or you're like, oh, I am certified, I know it, and nobody is going to open up to you then. You are losing out an opportunity. So yeah, I know know, there's a very thin line and it happens, but I think I'm lucky enough to have those family and friends कि यार तू बख्श दे ना, हर बार image consulting मत लगाया कर, अपनी थोड़ी तो बख्श दे. So I'm like, yeah, and sometimes it gets overwhelming for us also. Like I remember when I had just graduated from ICB, I used to be like, नहीं heels पहन के बैठना है, हर जगह makeup करके जाने का. It used to get very overwhelming at some time. Yeah, हर समय dress up करो. I start feeling like some Bollywood actress. Can I not step out just like that? And then I realized, I went back to my books, that it was also about dressing down, no? Because you were so used to making some looks and then going to ICB. We were always judged on the kind of looks that we were creating. So it took a while to come out of that theory, but I actually operate from that perspective, that if I've tried and tested something on myself, then only I'll give it out to my clients. Even if it is my family, if they're coming to me for image consulting or soft skills training related aspect, they're still my clients. So if you approach it from that manner, I think then that is when you're doing justice.
Thing is authenticity, Archika. That's the most important.
Absolutely. I was just about to come to that.
If you are grounded, if people can relate to you, if you can be, if they feel that connection,
right,
they will relate with you immediately, instantly.
Correct.
So that is something which, that vibe needs to come from you.
And that needs to come even in the kind of content you're putting out, the kind of designs that you're making. And I mean, what good are you an image consultant if you're not using your entire theory in everything? So that is how your personal branding also, every touch point, even when I'm talking to a cold lead, a warm lead, am I mirroring? If he is writing hi, ma'am, then I would write hi. If he's writing hello with a smiley, I'll write hello. Right? Later on, I'll obviously teach that, that is not the right way of writing things. But you have to keep on mirroring also. So if you're not using your own theories that you've been taught, ab dusre ko kya sikhaoge fir? Correct. So you have to always lead by example and walk the talk.
True. So one last question, Archika.
Sure, ma'am.
What is that one message for all those people who are aspiring to become image consultants and soft skills trainers? Any piece of nugget from your side?
Sure, absolutely. So one is that this profession is very freedom driven. So nobody is going to come to you and tell you that, this is how you need to work. And second, people aren't very aware of this industry. It is what you make out of this industry, because people are sitting on very preconceived notions, right? So first of all, my suggestion is that I was somebody who wanted a structured approach to it. There are a lot of people who are operating in the market without certifications or a structured curriculum. I won't suggest that, because you will always keep on sitting thinking, am I missing out on something? Am I giving holistic service or not? That's number one. Second, you have to be a very self-driven person. Just because you may go to ICB or any other institute, I'm not naming any institute, but even if you go to an institute or just are doing some structured curriculum, that's just your starting point. People often just think that, I've graduated from this institute, now the institute has to take charge of my career. That is where they go wrong, because that is when your journey will start. Third, you have to be very, very self-driven. The journey is not going to be easy. And because a lot of times you're going to work from home, that is the magic of the industry. It's going to get toxic also because, people won't take you seriously. Ghar pe to baithe ho, zara idhar aa jana, pause kar lo, reschedule kar lo sessions, things like those, right? So hence you have to be self-driven and also very convinced about the industry. Your why needs to be very, very clear. Otherwise, the journey will get very hard. Because there are very few people who will, right out of school or college, jump into image consulting and soft skills training. It never happens that way because of lack of awareness. I mean, there still are people who are doing it, but I mean, ICB has been there for a decade. I have seen those TOI ads. I've seen how how those positioning changed, how you used to be the face of it, and then how so many people have now come, and how it's become so relatable, and even males are joining the industry. I have so many people writing to me on LinkedIn that this seems to be a very female driven industry. Why aren't there any males, or why only females, and whatever. So many preconceived notions people are sitting on. So people need to realize, who want to jump into this industry, that because in India, people like to play very safe, conventional career hai. Jab doctor, वकील का ज़माना था, वो बन गए. जब engineers, MBA का ज़माना आया, वो बन गए, right? इस industry में वो नहीं होने वाला है. हो भी जाए. So still, it is that creative an industry that आप जो अपना niche बनाओगे, आप जो spectrum पकड़ोगे market का, वही बनेगा, right? So you have to be very, very self-driven. And I'm somebody who's very conventional and a fan of structured approach. So if you can sign up for any program, if ICBI, great. If not, you can reach out to any practicing image consultant. And that's the fourth thing. Like, so many people write to me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, asking that, how should we go about it, if it is the right profession for us or not. Sign up for consultations with us, which is practicing image consultants or people at ICBI. There are so many people who are meant to walk you through this entire journey, and get your why very, very clear in your head. And don't think that, some institute is going to make you. That is just going to be your starting point. You have to keep on upskilling yourself and know your why very, very strongly.
And when it comes to just to add to what you said, Archika, about the structured approach, structured or unstructured approach is completely in your hand.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, how you are as a person, your approach depends upon that. I mean,
absolutely.
If you come with that background of being too structured, you will always make that environment structured. If you come from with a background where you are not structured and you are very casual, or you are very creative, or you are somebody who has a very relaxed approach, your whole approach towards your handling your business will be totally casual. So how you deal with it will depend upon how you are as a person, your personality, your traits. Everything depends upon you completely.
Absolutely.
And you yourself reflect that structured approach. I mean, by your personality, by your demeanor. I mean, the way you come across doesn't look like from anywhere that you are a casual person.
Yeah, very true. And ma'am, that also brings me to another point for the same question, which you mentioned, that people need to look at it as a business or as a practice, not as a hobby, right? Because what you give out, because obviously you've been an entrepreneur for so long, you will realize or support this. I realized it only in my 3-4 year journey, that whatever you're giving out the vibe, like if you're treating it as hobby, passion, and I see a lot of my batchmates thought, नहीं ICBI कराएगा, ICBI कोई client देगा तो हम करेंगे होगा.
अगर आप इसको sustain नहीं कर पाओगे तो ये एक expensive hobby बनके रह जाएगी.
Exactly, and it will play a lot with your head, and then you will it will take just a minute for your friends and family to attack you and say क्या अच्छे बनने का बस घूमने का है, तुम लोग को मेकअप करके बैठना होता है क्या है. और I've seen those people as well, and then they were like ठीक है कर लिया, and then it starts playing with their head. हम तो कुछ कर ही नहीं पा रहे हैं, whatever.
And then blame it on ICBI.
Yeah, that absolutely happens. I have a lot of batchmates who do that, and then they're like, "Oh, तुम तो IIM से." I was like, "IIM का image consulting से क्या relation है यार?" And management consulting का भी business चलाना is absolutely different. So if you are sitting and thinking कि नहीं हमें तो आता है, if you have a lot of eye, that is what I said. Put the spotlight on people, your clients. You're here to serve people. If you enjoy that, then move towards it, because neither ICBI is going to be happy with a student like you, nor you are going to be happy, right? It's a win-lose there.
Absolutely.
Or lose-lose also. I mean, it really depends. Yeah. So that is something that people need to keep in mind. And mostly because females want to take up this career because it is flexible. And in fact, that was one of my whys also when I was in school and in college. So, eventually, obviously, you have to get married. Somehow you want to start your family later on. And I didn't want my career to take a setback, because in corporates, it's very clear that you will be going on maternity leave, you want those benefits, whatever. I said, boss, no, I want to work so hard and my money or my career does not need to suffer. So my career needs to involve that freedom, right?
Absolutely.
So females specifically, I want to iterate this point, because I've done that a lot on LinkedIn. So many people reach out to me for collaborations and all, right? And they don't ask for money. They're like कि नहीं हमारा ना experience हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो जाएगा. Like, why intern, right? And then आपको free में कोई seriously नहीं लेने वाला है. And I've seen that as being a problem, especially with Indian women. I can't talk about women outside, right? पैसे मांगते हैं बहुत शर्म आती है. या कि free का काम कर लो, why boss? And then you are teaching people how to increase their self-esteem जब आपकी खुद की self-esteem इतनी low है, right? And money is important. Passion, hobby नहीं है ना ये. And पैसे आप tuition देके भी कमा लोगे. कमा लो, कोई problem नहीं, but कमाओ तो सही, because if you don't have that financial independence, right, you will yourself suffer, and then it takes a minute for your family or your friends to taunt you, and you hit your lowest point, and then तब होता है यार job ही कर लेते हैं, ये मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा, right, when your basics aren't clear. So have your why very clear and understand that ICB or any other institute, or even if you're just launching yourself, like how I was told, yeah, books लेने मैंने मंगवाई भी, people who were already practicing. I even got ICBS material. One of my school seniors, one of my Art of Living seniors did it. Like, boss, ये मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा. This is not me. चाहे मुझे खुद पढ़ना पड़े जो भी है, I want a teacher because that experience really counts, right? When you're in that community, that surrounding, your look is being decoded, and the kind of experience that your trainers share, because people are already practicing outside. When they tell you, ये आपकी books में नहीं लिखा है कि आपके पास mental health issues वाले लोग भी आएंगे, and आप कैसे वो thin line difference देखोगे कि आपको ये psychiatrist को refer करना है, आपको ये dermatologist को refer करना है, या ये actually आपके लिए सही है client, right? All of that you get only when your whys are ready and you've gone through a structured curriculum. Right. And I've seen those people who like, ICBI should have done something for us. नहीं, ICBI ने तो कुछ नहीं किया, ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया. So I am at least very thankful. One, I wasn't that person. I was very practical. Then secondly, Haspreet and Kavita were very clear. But boss, we can just give you a platform. Then you need to take it forward. And we are going to give you opportunities only when you've done something in the market, which is fair, no? Because ICBI is sitting on some 10-year, more than 10-year brand. आप just ऐसे ही आ रहे हो. Association does not work that way. This is what I teach my interview coaching trainees also, right? That it's a value exchange program. आप value लेके आ रहे हो तो आपको value मिल रही है, right? And you have to look at it from the other perspective also. Are you getting value in return or not? Because people like कुछ भी बोल के बस offer मिल जाए. So it works everywhere, and you have to be people driven. अगर आप ये सोच रहे हो नहीं इसमें मेरा क्या हो रहा है, नहीं मुझे तो कुछ नहीं. People sit on knowledge, okay? That they'll be like, अब मुझे इतना ही पैसा मिल रहा है तो मैं इतना ही बताऊंगी. फिर boss, you can't work in knowledge business then. And then people will be like, they won't give out a lot in their videos. That is where people go wrong in training in knowledge business. आप पूरा ज्ञान दे दो, medical science का भी दे दो, doctor की कमी आप कभी पूरी नहीं कर सकते, right? Again, because I have seen that background. Everything is there on Google, right? But आप एक दवाई खाने से पहले भी 50 बार सोचोगे, right? Similarly, हमें कितना टाइम लगा है इमेज कंसल्टिंग के सारे कॉन्सेप्ट समझ के होलिस्टिकली, अभी भी वी आर लर्निंग इट ओनली, राइट? दैट व्हाट शुड बी योर फोकल पॉइंट, व्हाट इज डोमिनेंट पॉइंट, सबऑर्डिनेट क्या होना चाहिए, कलर स्कीम्स को कैसे मैच करोगे. सो आप सारा ज्ञान दे दो, सब सिखा दो, तब भी कुछ नहीं होने वाला. आप सब कुछ दे दो फ्री में, देन ऑल्सो पीपल विल कम एंड दैट इज व्हेन पीपल विल पे यू. यार इसको कुछ तो आता है, इसको सब आता है, इससे सीख रहा है. Not those people who are coming from a very scarce mindset that नहीं हम देंगे तो next time हमारे पास कैसे आएगा, सब कुछ अभी बता देंगे तो कैसे होगा. This is not the profession for you. I mean, not just this, any entrepreneurship journey or business journey is not for you.
Absolutely. Let's ask people if they have any questions for you.
Absolutely.
Archika. So all those people who are here, if you have any question, quickly, we have just about 7 to 8 minutes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Archika is here. Let's see if you have anything to ask her, or if you have anything to ask me, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, it will be a pleasure, and I'm so glad we got to meet and talk. I couldn't even come for that IMPA Delhi meet because not IMPA Delhi, but the IMPA meet that finally happened in Delhi because I was working in EY and I just got my probation confirmed. I was like, छोटी तो नहीं ले सकते हो अभी. So sad. So I was so looking forward to meeting you, ma'am. I'm just seeing in the chat if there's any question that people might have written.
Difference between image consulting and soft skills training.
Oh, perfect. Who's that question for? Is that for you or is that for me?
Ishivan Sharma.
Yeah.
So basically, Ishivan, image consulting works on the outside and soft skills training works on the inside. Although image consulting, when you work on the outside, it also impacts the inside. So when you work on the outside, it has an impact psychologically as well. Whereas when you work on the inside, it also has an effect on the outside in terms of your confidence. So it is an inside out effect. So primarily image consulting works on the external elements and soft skills works on the internal elements. But both works on the confidence level. It enhances your confidence level. And it works on the psychology of an individual. Do we have
Yes, and
online
just
classes or offline classes? Depends. Mystic review. If you are in Delhi and Mumbai, we also have the offline classes too. But it is totally your choice. Online classes, offline classes, both are available. We also work on hybrid mode. So it totally depends upon where you stay.
yeah,
Akshay,
and I
this session
just
was
to
one
add,
of the best till date. Thank you, Akshay.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
And
Archika is amazing.
thank you. And I did my classes from ICBI Delhi. So if any one of you is looking to join the Delhi coaching center, feel free to DM me if you have any questions.
Do you have
Just want to add to that.
classes in Bangalore? Bangalore, we don't have in Bangalore, but we have hybrid classes, that is online plus 3 days of train the consultant, that will be offline. Devanshi, I want to know, how do you negotiate to prove your worth while charging an X amount of money from the corporate client? Given that you do not
Many
have
years.
many years of experience
Hmm.
from the corporate sector. Do you want to respond,
Yes.
Archita?
I would love to take this question up because this is the most commonly asked question, and I just touched upon it during the session. I'm not sure if you're talking about a full-time job or a freelancing
No,
thing,
no,
but the
just
concept is still,
assignment.
yeah. So the concept is still going to remain the same. First of all, you need to come out of this mindset that you need to prove your worth, right? Because you need to understand that it's a two-way street when you're working with somebody professionally. Because you're giving some value, you're getting value in return. So you're giving value in terms of skills, money, time. I don't know. You're getting perks or salary in return. So that's number one. Second, when you're talking about that, my constraint is I don't have X number of years of experience. First, realize everybody started from scratch. That's one. Second, it does not give anybody the right to ask you for free services. Third, you need to talk about the number of hours you put in to come up with that skill. So whether that's hours of training, there's some hours of internship experience that you've done, some practical assignments, all of that adds up to your skill. Okay, so it's not always about what you've done in terms of full-time job. If you've not even gone to best of the institutes or any institute, but say you've spent 20 plus hours researching about this topic, you know everything end to end, command your money and go to platforms like Glassdoor, reach out to people on LinkedIn, know what's happening in the market, how much are people charging, and whatever you think, whenever you have this mindset, know that I might not get, say, X amount, ask for X minus 10 amount. Start with that. But know what is your walking away point. So you need not be working for somebody who is asking you to work for free, not happening, right? Because then that speaks of a really bad culture, and that's a red flag, right? And second is that once you have established your walking away point, that is how you negotiate. That this is my bare minimum. इससे नीचे मैं काम नहीं करूंगी, right? And then if I am reducing my fixed pay, then you need to give me, say, joining bonus in return, or say variable pay in return, or have a success based pay in return, right? If I'm able to improve your profits, I'm able to give you return, you'll probably give me 10% more, 20% more. Know the art of negotiating. Do not come from a very limited mindset that I will just get fixed pay, right? So if you think you have to prove your worth, then boss, you will just keep on proving your worth only. You need to understand it's a two-way street. लोग तो बैठे ही आपको एक्सप्लॉइट करने के लिए, अब आपके ऊपर है ना आपको किसके साथ काम करना है. Because it's always like getting married or dating somebody. दो ही लोगों के साथ आप बहुत टाइम बिताते हो. One, your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend, and your company. So same ही तो logic है ना. आप किसी को अगर देखने जाते हो, you go on a date also. What do you keep on doing? Do you just keep on selling yourself as potential wife, potential husband, girlfriend or boyfriend? And ये भी देखते हो, इस बंदे के साथ मेरी जमेगी नहीं. Same logic. So when I give that analogy to my clients or my trainees, the bulb goes on that, अच्छा ये बात भी तो ठीक है. So whenever you look at it from that perspective, like I'm meeting my potential suitor, right? Potential wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? Then see what are you also going to get in return. And then feel free to, go to different people, work out different offers, and then negotiate based on the offer that you've already got. No shame in that.
Plus,
you've already proven your worth to somebody else.
You will also get a lot of assistance during ICBI training. You will get business support if you take business program, and we will also give you a lot of hand holding as to how to deal with clients when you get any assignment. Okay, there is a question that what is the difference between online and offline classes? So online classes is basically on your computer. There is a live session happening with the trainer, and there will be a session with the other students also in the class. It is not there you are only, seeing the PPT and, there is a session happening. There is a live session, online live, with a trainer in front of you, and she is teaching you, with the PowerPoint presentation and with the notes, with demonstration and a lot of other things that happen. And you can ask questions. It is a very interactive session. And offline means you're sitting in the class and the trainer is in front of you, and that is a proper facilitation happening. Okay, one of the best sessions, a lot of takeaway from the session. Thank you so much, Shri Lakshmi.
And ma'am, to
And I
add
have
to
a
that
question
online thing,
for Archika. It's been missed. What is the question?
yeah, if you could type it again.
If you could please type it again.
And just to add, an online session, Suman ma'am herself keeps on coming out of nowhere and auditing, right? So the trainer is always on his or her toes. And ma'am will come and give out some knowledge on her
I
own.
keep
So,
attending these online sessions. And I keep coming in, pitching in randomly out of nowhere.
There's another question. Is online
I can't
helpful?
see any question.
There is one more question which says, is online helpful? It definitely is. And I mean, it totally depends on what works more for you. If you're closer to the offline center, you can go for offline if your job allows, right? And if not, obviously, ma'am will be able to add to this better. But there were a couple of online sessions that I attended, and some
online sessions are as good as the offline sessions, because there is no difference between the online session, because this is a hybrid session. Plus, online session is very interactive because you are sitting in front of the trainer and the trainer is giving you equal answers, because if you are asking any question, the trainer is responding to you then and there, and they are sharing a lot of props, exchanging notes, giving you a lot of information. So there is absolutely no difference between what you learn in the classroom, actual classroom, and what you learn on the computer.
And you get access to a diverse set of community.
Yes.
So when you're studying in, say, Delhi NCR, you're just understanding the dressing ways or the way clients are behaving in Delhi NCR versus people from everywhere else.
At the same time, if you're sitting in the online platform, you actually get to meet a lot of international students also.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are enrolling from different countries, different nationalities. So that's a wider platform, and you get a lot of exposure. You get to understand the experiences of people from different background, different age groups. So that is a wider platform, and you get to expose yourself to people from different nationalities.
Yeah.
How do you get to register for this session?
Also.
Online session. So you go to ICDI website, register yourself, and somebody will get in touch with you, and they will take you through the whole process. imageconsultinginstitute.com is the website address, and you can go through the process. I think we'll have to end the session, otherwise the session will end by itself. So thank you so much, Archika. It was excellent having a conversation with you. I'm sure people are already writing in this platform that it was an excellent session, great takeaways. So all the very best to you, and wish you a great success going forward.
Thank you so much for having me and for such kind words, and always a pleasure connecting with you and connecting with ICBI.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all the lovely people, and I'll see you next week once again. And this was Archika Arora and Suman Agarwal signing off for today, and I'll see you next week once again. Bye.
Bye-bye.